Broadcasting from the place that Winnie the Pooh is named after, Winnipeg, Manitoba. In the center of North America, on this little planet we call Earth, it's the Solo Show. On this edition, Stan welcomes the hosts of the Disney DNA podcast, Trent and Jeni Calliouet, as his co-hosts. And now, please welcome your host, a man who once proposed to Daisy Duck. And this is true, listeners. There are pictures to prove it. Stan Solo!
Hello and welcome to this edition of the Solo Show. I have two co-hosts with me today. Count them, two co-hosts with me today. I got none other than the Coulettes. It is Coulette. Am I saying it right?
You're close. You're
close. I never get names right. What's the name?
It's the Calliouets. That's a nice
Calliouet.
Yes.
Okay, I have Trent and Jeni Calliouet joining me today in the co-host chair. Trent was one, he's a special guy. He got me excited about doing podcasts because Trent has his own podcast with Jeni and their two lovely daughters who aren't able to join us today. But they have the Disney DNA podcast. And this is one podcast that I try to listen to as much as I can. I'm falling behind my podcast. I know. I'll get back caught up again. I got to do more shirts. That's when I listen to podcasts. But they have the Disney DNA podcast. And if you're looking for a fun, family-friendly podcast to listen to, the Disney DNA podcast is one that you should definitely tune into. And I want to introduce you to them. I'm going to start ladies first. Jeni, welcome to the show. And how are you today?
I am doing great. Thanks so much for having us.
Excellent. And Trent, my buddy, how are you?
I am doing spectacular, my friend. And it is absolutely a joy to be here because I am loving this whole new thing with the whole Solo Show. This is so cool. And this is a huge congratulations to you and getting this fun thing started. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And the funny thing is, like, people thought when I said I'm doing a solo show, they all thought I was going to be alone. Oh, no, I can't talk for half an hour by myself. I'm not that good. But I enjoy having different people on all the time. And that's what this show is about. So if you want to be in the co-host chair, if you want to be Trent and Jeni, you can email me at thesoloshow01@gmail.com and pitch me your topic, what your topic is and what you want to be on the show for. And you might be sitting in the co-host chair next. So we have a topic today. Trent, what's our topic?
Our topic is the 5 things that we miss at Walt Disney World.
Yes, the 5 things we miss the 5 little things that we miss.
Yeah, the little things.
The 5 little things. So this isn't like we're complaining about stuff that Disney took away from us. That I don't want to get the wrong impression right off the hop. These are kind of things that are just a little bit less magical than they used to be. And it could be, because of technology reasons that these things have changed. Budget cuts are going to be obviously probably involved in some of our top 5. And like Bob Dylan says, the times are changing. That's part of the reasons why change happens.
Yep.
So these aren't really to put down Disney in any means. It's just kind of things that no longer happen that used to happen that we kind of miss.
I love it.
Is that how you guys made your list?
Oh, yeah. I got my list. Jeni's got hers. And I got some backups just in case you might steal one of mine.
Oh, Trent always comes prepared. I knew he was going to have backups prepared.
I do.
Now, I will say Trent's been going a lot longer than me. So
from the age of 8?
Yes. A few of my list is things that happen at Disney that I miss when we're not there. And then a few things that were.
I'm very nostalgic. I love things that aren't there. But we'll talk about mine here in a minute.
And him and I had this discussion. I said, there's not a whole lot. There's been a lot that's been added since I've started going, but there's not been a whole lot that's been taken away.
Yeah. I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Jeni. I haven't been going as often or as long. I've been going I started as an adult. My oldest daughter was 16 on our first trip. So that just kind of shows how old I was the first time I went.
Yes.
So let's start off. Jeni, we'll start ladies first. What would be your little thing that you miss Walt Disney World?
This is actually something that's still at Walt Disney World, but I love doing it so much that when we're not at Disney World, it's really something that I'm just like, I wish we could do it. And that is riding the TTA. And one thing I guess you could say, it's not as popular as it used to be. Like a lot of people are like, why would you even want to spend time riding it? I find it super relaxing. I really enjoy it. It's just one of those things that you get on and you can sit and breathe.
Okay.
Okay, so you mean like this is something you miss when you're at home that you can't do?
Yes. When I'm at home, some of my things are like gone from Disney, and some are just I miss them when I'm at home.
Oh,
Just
okay.
because.
She has a combination list here.
I had a combo list.
Yeah,
'Cause
mine's not like that. Mine's
I thought
different.
of all my his is everything that's gone.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what mine is like that as well. Like, it's like the little things that is or that have changed, and I appreciate the old way better.
Well,
It's kind of on mine.
and the TTA for me has kind of changed because when I first started going, I remember like everybody talked about how much they loved the TTA. They spent time. We had to wait in line the first time, like on our honeymoon. I remember having to wait in line to get on it because people enjoyed it so much. 2005, yeah. And we went in October, so it wasn't even like it was a holiday where there were a ton of extra people in the park. And now we go during Thanksgiving, and you can just walk right into it. Like, people don't take time to enjoy it like they should, in my opinion.
My favorite time is during the times that it's raining because you can just keep going around and around and around. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes.
Yeah, no,
We were there.
they make you get out sometimes. Actually, more and more than making you get out, which is probably why there's less lines because they don't let you stay in as much anymore.
Right.
Well, 2014, we were actually there during a tropical storm, and I think we rode it almost 30 minutes. I mean, they didn't make us get off at all. We just kept going around and around and around.
It was great.
Even there's been a few times where there's just not a line. It's no rain or weather or anything like that. There's just not a line. People aren't into it like they were years ago.
And Trent, what about you? What's one of your little things that you miss?
Well, this one is little now, but it was big back then. And I'm going to kind of set this up a little bit. This one, I'm going to give you a little bit of history on this one because this one really dates back to me when I was a kid. And I really love this one like a lot. And so did my dad, and my mom loved it too. So this one goes back to the opening of October 14th, 1971. And there was something you would kind of get around and you would smell this gasoline or this gas smell. This is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. The submarine voyage, which I remembered sitting in there. I mean, it stunk because of the sweaty people plus the gas. And you got those little portholes, but just seeing the fish and the submarine and the big octopus, and they tell a story. And when you're like 8 years old, this is like a huge thing because you're never going to get this opportunity to ride in a submarine. And I remember going as that first time being that 8-year-old boy and just loving it. And my dad to this day still talks about it from time to time, that very first visit, and loving this attraction that is no longer there, but I miss it. It was fantastic. And I wish we could somehow bring it back but like update it. But I mean, it was just so fun.
Well, you're going to Disneyland pretty soon, I understand.
Next year.
Yeah. So you'll be able to ride the submarine Little Mermaid attraction, which is very similar.
Correct. So that's going to be a little nostalgia for me there, but not quite as it was when I was a kid, but still, I can't wait just to experience it with our daughters because they've seen the YouTube video and it looks cool, but just the experience is going to be totally worth it.
For myself, one of the little things that I miss is when I first started going to Walt Disney World, I used to go to Port Orleans Riverside, and gradually I started going to Pop Century. And they always had, when you walked into the room, the Mickey towel on the bed waiting for you with a little Mickey head made out of 3 towels on the bed. And they just don't do that anymore, at least not at the values or the moderates. I guess it's a budget cut thing. It's a time thing with mousekeeping, but it's just like that little thing. It was just a little bit of magic as soon as you walked into your room. And you went, oh, look at the towels. And it's just not there anymore. I kind of miss that.
We've never had the towels. Now, mousekeeping sometimes they've tucked in the kids' stuffed animals or, they've kind of positioned them like that. But we've never had the towels left on the bed or anything like that.
It's just kind of strange how that they've gotten away from doing that.
I mean, if you would think of time, how long would it take to make a Mickey towel? I mean, what, 10, 15 seconds? I don't know.
Maybe.
But that is just one of those nice little touches where you're like, oh, that's so cute.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's something, I kind of miss those. And how about you, Jenny? What's another one for you?
Talking Mickey. I love Talking Mickey. We've met him a couple times, and the girls really had a great interaction with him.
Right next to your favorite restaurant.
Not my favorite restaurant.
I always got to pull that
okay.
in every time.
So I have this whole master plan on how we can make Tony's great.
Yeah, that's another.
Make Tony's great again. And it's not keeping in us Tony's.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic.
That's tangent.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I really enjoyed talking Mickey. I liked the interaction. I liked the magic, the little extra magic that it brought to the kids and the cast members and to the parents. You know, I understand why he's not there anymore. Like, I get it, but it was still just a little bit of extra magic.
Oh yeah, it was fun and very interactive, and they had the magic cards that was always fun to play with, and just it was a very cool experience that I think Disney made a mistake on taking that away. I think they should bring it back, but I don't know how much it costs to do all that stuff. I have no idea, but the technology was awesome.
Yeah, a little confession. I never went in to see Talking Mickey.
Oh man, that was.
I know. I was there one time, and it was only a 15-minute wait, and I thought I should go see it while I still can.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'll see it next time, and there never was a next time.
Oh, good one.
Trent, you're up.
All right, this one holds a big special place in my heart, and this one goes back to when it used to be called MGM Studios. Now, this was something that was iconic from 1989 to 2016. And Stan, this is the Eiffel Tower. When you would go over there, you would see this big, huge water tower with the ears on there. And that was like the symbol of being there. But then you had the hat, that part. But this would, to me, every time I would go there and see that water tower, it meant something special for me. I mean, it's 130 feet tall. But it was just so cool to see. And it was just that little touch that made that park to me special.
Yeah. And when they took the sorcerer hat away and they kept the tower for a while, I thought that was going to become the icon of the park, was the tower.
Exactly.
And I don't think it was located where Galaxy's Edge ended up being. I think it was in a different location, was it not?
I think so, right.
Yeah. So I don't understand why they said it didn't match the theming with the park anymore, but honestly there is no theming in that park.
Yeah.
It's hodgepodge.
Hollywood right now is having an identity crisis.
Yeah.
Because it's not Hollywood anymore. It's Toy Story Land, Galaxy's Edge, period. Everything else is what you do when you're not at Toy Story Land or Galaxy's Edge.
Well, they also have like Tower of Terror, and they have Rock and Roller Coaster, and Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, which is kind of like the only thing that's left from the old MGM days as far as an attraction goes, where you get to see behind the scenes a little bit. Is the Indiana, and you kind of wonder, is that going to be around much longer?
Exactly. I mean, that's been kind of talked about for a long time on the chopping block of getting it taken out. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I could see it being replaced with some sort of Star Wars show. And that makes me sad because I love Indiana Jones. You
mentioned the Sorting Hat, Stan. Now, that was taken out in 2015. So you got 2015, then boom, 2016, there goes the tower. So you take two iconics within a year of each other,
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
man.
At least the Chinese theater's staying. So
yes.
I guess that's now the icon, or is the ad?
I don't know what it is.
There is no real.
No, from what I understood is they wanted, since it is still quote unquote Hollywood Studios, they wanted the Chinese theater to be more of the main focus. Like, they took the hat away so that when you you looked down at the Chinese theater, but they're pulling so far away from that old classic Hollywood that it's like, what's the point of not redoing this as well?
Yeah. No, I understand you. My second one, I'm staying in the hotel room. I haven't left my room yet. and I don't have anything against the pump shampoo and conditioner body wash that they got in the showers. That doesn't bother me. And I do prefer the H2O products versus the product that I'm going to talk about. And they used to have the H2O individual bottles, but I mean, those are cool to bring home, But what they used to have, the little Mickey shampoo bottles with the mouse ears on them.
I remember.
That I used to ask mousekeeping for a couple extra and leave a good tip to get a couple extra. And those ones were kind of more magical to me, even though the product wasn't as good as the products they have now in those bottles.
Yeah. We always bring our own products. So we always brought those home and actually
gave them to friends.
Yeah, one year we ended up having to take Brooklyn to the hospital. And when we got back, I hadn't showered at all that day. And I had asked mousekeeping. I ran into him and I was like, look, we've been at the hospital with my daughter. I really just need to take a shower. Can I get a couple of extra towels? So I said, but we're going to go and eat first. This is our room. So we went down to we were at Art of Animation and got something to eat and went back to the room. And there were a couple extra towels. And she had a gallon-size Ziploc bag full of the shampoo and conditioner and soaps with the Mickey ears on them.
Oh,
and
nice.
We came back, and one of our friends who lives here in town, every now and then I would be like, hey, I got you another gift. And I would give, because he loved them so much, I was going to give him the whole bag. And he's like, no, just give me a couple every now and then, because that will really make my day better.
Yeah, they were really cute, those little shampoo bottles. So, Jenny, what's your third one?
Actually, the Sorcerer's Hat. I loved the Sorcerer's Hat at Hollywood Studios. I thought it was a great icon. Now, when they talked about moving it, I wanted them to move it, like maybe have it when you're walking up to Hollywood Studios, maybe in the area where they set up the Christmas tree, maybe somewhere around there. There would have been plenty of room for them to have just moved it somewhere to the entrance. So it was still there. I mean, they could have kept it with the souvenirs and everything, or maybe put maps underneath it, or maybe have some sort of character meet and greet before you even got into the park. But the fact that they just like took it away completely.
Cut it up into little pieces.
Yes, because for me, that was Hollywood Studios' icon, was the hat.
Yeah,
the first time I went, I was more impressed with the hat than the castle. I'm sorry to say that.
Ooh, that's brutal.
But
wow.
Yeah,
Sorcerer and Mickey, I didn't watch a lot of TV growing up. Fantasia was one of the movies that we actually owned, so I grew up watching that with Mickey and the Sorcerer's Hat and everything, and that was a part of my childhood compared to like Cinderella's Castle, because I didn't watch a lot of TV. I didn't watch a lot of those shows. I wasn't into the princesses. So when they said, okay, we're going to take it away, it's like, well, where is it at? Like, I mean, can I buy it? Can I have it?
Like buy a piece?
Yeah, can I buy a piece of it or something? Like, what happened to this? Because it was fantastic. And I wish that they could bring it back and reuse it. I wish they had repurposed it instead of just taking it away.
At the very least, like, put it in one of the resorts was my feeling.
You know, Pop would have been the perfect resort for it, really.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Exactly.
Or even Art of Animation. I mean, that would have been a good one, too.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I was hoping they were going to do. But and I was kind of upset when it first disappeared as well, when they took it down. But I got to tell you, 9 times out of 10, they have the stage out front. But when you first walk into Hollywood Studios and you see the Chinese theater, when the stage isn't there, they move it out of the way. It is actually really neat to see that coming down Hollywood Boulevard and seeing the Chinese theater at the end of the street.
Absolutely,
So,
But, you know, they have the stage up so much that it's
Star Wars time. I mean,
you go to Epcot, you see Spaceship Earth, that's your wow factor. You go to Animal Kingdom, you have the Tree of Life. You go to Magic Kingdom, you have the castle. You go to Hollywood Studios, you have a stage.
Star Wars.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You know, if you look over to the right, you see Tower of Terror, but there's nothing when you walk in to be like, I'm at Disney, this is magical, this is going to be the best day of my life when you walk into Hollywood.
Yeah, no, I agree completely.
And the hat was that for me.
There you go. Good job, babe.
Trent?
Well,
my number 3.
My theming has been a lot of things you can see with the parks, because the parks hold a very special place in my heart, and they always will. This one I miss a lot, and this one ended in 2014, but it started in 89. This is the Studio Backlot Tour. I miss this thing. It was so fun, and I mean, you had such a great time seeing that big rig explode with the fire and just seeing all those cool effects, but now it's gone, and I miss it because we got to do it like once.
We did it on our honeymoon. We might have done it with the girls, We did it with the girls, and then it closed.
Yes, we got one time as a family of 4. So for us together, it was twice, and then with the girls. But still, I miss it. It was a great experience, and it just had a cool story, but it was a little dated since it was 89, you know, but I miss it. It was so much fun just to see how things worked. And I don't know. I know things have to go because of other things, because we got, you know, Galaxy's Edge now and all that stuff. But some of those nostalgia things I miss because it was the staple thing for me there, because look at how long Indiana Jones has been hanging around for so long now. I'm feeling like it's going to go at some point. But the Backlot tour was just so fun, and I loved it.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. It would have been nice if the Backlot tour could have stayed, and Galaxy's Edge could have been built more off to the side, type of thing. But I mean, it is what it. And I'm the same way. I only got to see it twice.
You see,
I saw my first trip and my second trip, and that was it. And then it was gone. I never got a chance to see it again.
Oh, I mean, it was just, I don't know, just so fun. But I love that fire part when that 18-wheeler caught on fire, and it was just, it's just so fun.
Mine, I'm going to get out of my hotel room.
All right.
Go to the studios. You guys are stuck in the studios. I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going solo for a bit. I'm going to Epcot. And one of the things that used to happen at Epcot that was very fascinating to me to watch, and she's no longer there. This is a person that's no longer there. The lady that made the candy on the little sticks in the Chinese pavilion. Yeah. It was so cool. You could stand there for like 15, 20 minutes, hour, 2 hours, and she talked the whole time and it put on a great show and take ideas from the audience and make these little candy animals on the end of little chopsticks. Yeah. And it was really cute to see and really cool. And she'd hand it out to somebody in the audience every time. Did you guys get to see those?
Absolutely. Yeah. I loved it. And I didn't even think about that. That's a great answer, Stan, because I don't know, just that is a little thing to even think about, because I haven't seen that in a long time.
Do you know, I think the little things like that are going away because people are too busy going from the next big thing to the next big thing. Like, a lot of people don't take time to appreciate the little things like that.
Especially in Epcot.
It breaks my heart.
Lots to do there. You know, lots to see, lots to...
And I don't know if that was a budget cut or she retired or what the deal was. I'm guessing it was a budget issue.
Probably so.
But yeah, or maybe she wanted to move somewhere else. You never know. Orlando's a hot place to live, as we were talking about the show. I don't think I could live there for very long.
Exactly. No,
we'd be fine.
Yeah, we kind of...
yeah, you guys can have it.
Yeah, exactly.
So Jenny, what is your fourth?
Okay, my fourth is actually the Great Movie Ride. Rest in peace.
I knew it.
It's not my number one.
I'm surprised.
It's my number two. Yeah. Well, you won't be surprised when you hear my number one.
Okay.
It is my number two. I loved this attraction so much. I loved the cast member interaction. I loved the scenes. I loved, the alien popping down in Aliens, and I loved the gangster, and I loved the Wizard of Oz scene, and I just loved it all so much. And our last trip there in 2000, it was closed in 2017. When we went in 2016, I guess it was, we didn't realize that was going to be our last ride, but because we had been with Brooklyn in a wheelchair, we had got to sit up front right by the cast member because we got to use the handicap seats. And so and I got to sit right by them. So my last experience on the Great Movie Ride was right up front, and the cast member was fantastic, and I loved every minute of it. And then a few months later, we found out it was closing, and it just broke my heart. Everybody then was talking about the Great Movie Ride and how much they loved it. And it made me so mad because I'm like, y'all didn't love this attraction. If you did, then even on Thanksgiving week, there would have been an hour wait to get on it. But there never was. You could always just walk right on it.
Exactly. And that's kind of why they needed to change it, I think, because it wasn't bringing the numbers in.
I did. I got upset watching people ride it for the last time, talking about how much they loved it. And I'm like, you didn't love this like I did.
Just think about it. Mickey's Runaway Railroad's
coming
very soon.
I'm
Jenny's going to protest and never ride Mickey's Runaway Railroad.
I do not like the animation in the cartoon shorts, and that's the animation that it's going to be off of. So I am hesitantly optimistic about Mickey's. Like, I know we have to grow and we have to change and we can't stay stagnant and everything. But I mean, like, they could have just updated by attraction. They didn't have to
whole thing
completely take it away.
Yeah.
Very dated. Yeah.
But I'm hoping we all enjoy Mickey's Runaway Railroad, and I'm hoping I can get past the Disney shorts type animation.
And apparently it's going to be 3D without 3D glasses.
That's what I'm excited for.
So that's going to be interesting.
So that's going to be cool. So there's something to look forward to coming up down the road. Yes, for sure.
Absolutely.
So Trent, where are you sitting in your number 4 seat?
I haven't really moved too far. I'm kind of in the same park. You're going to see the trend here because this one has gone through some changes.
Wow, Hollywood just isn't what it used to be.
But since people know, or you might not know, that we typically go during the holidays, so it's Thanksgiving. And one thing that I really loved at nighttime, and I'm just thinking about it, I can visualize it right now, is the Osborne lights. That was amazing. Now, Jenny didn't like it.
I didn't.
Wow, what?
Yes.
Okay, so like I love holiday decorations.
Oh, man.
I am not a big Christmas light fan, though. Like, to sit there and look at all this stuff, it was like after a minute, okay, I'm done. But Trent and the girls really enjoyed it.
Lights blink. Cool. Let's go.
Yeah.
But America was
the Christmas trees and the wreaths and the things like that they have around, that there's so much detail that are so different than every now and then. But I mean, like, we have amazing light shows around here where people do their yard. So I'm like, yeah.
Trent, I think we need a wah on that one.
I can do it for you.
See, people think I hate holidays because of Trent.
Straight from the soundboard.
I know. They think I hate them, but I don't. I love holidays. There are just certain things that I think is just like, yeah.
I mean, Disney did an incredible job. I mean, this thing went from 95 to 2015. I mean, it's a long, long time, but it was so beautiful. And I love seeing the lights, and then you had that fake snow pumping around there a little bit, and just, it transformed that whole area. And I loved it because I love Christmas. I love lights, and that whole thing, when they took it away, it took a piece of my heart with it because I really love it. And our girls like singing too, just seeing all the bright colors, and it was just amazing. But except Jenny, she got the
for our family, for them to get holiday decorations, they have to go other places. For instance, I did not take my Christmas wreath down until Easter. And here it is, Halloween, and the Easter wreath is still currently on the front door.
Nice, huh? So that was mine, yeah. So you can see my things about Hollywood.
At least you got to see the Osborne Christmas lights, because I've never been to Walt Disney World after October. So I've never got to see the Christmas decorations at Walt Disney World. I have at Disneyland, and they're amazing. I love them. The Christmas music, everything. It was wonderful, but I've never been to Walt Disney World during the holiday season.
It brought Christmas. Like when you see this thing, Stan, I mean, it really set the tone. I mean, to me, it was amazing.
Now, we go at Thanksgiving, and my tradition up until we started going was to always, Thanksgiving night was to come home and it was time to get the tree out. So we would either decorate it that night or the next day. So I actually have been setting it up before we leave for Thanksgiving break. So because when we're at Disney World, we were immersed in the Christmas decorations and everything. So when we come home, not that we have a ton. I mean, I put our tree up and a wreath.
It's more internally than external house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can say that.
Yeah.
I mean, we decorate. Our last house, I decorated more because we had the decorations for it. This one, we've got to just add as we go. But I have it set up so that when we come home from Disney, we don't have to put everything up. It's already done.
And for the Canadian listeners that are listening to this, they're talking about American Thanksgiving. Trent and Jenny are from the U.S., just in case you could tell by Trent's accent.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Cajun.
So my number 4, I'm going to actually change things up a bit here because I kind of thought about one after I made my list. It used to be that there was a lot of park-specific items, and each, instead of it being Walt Disney, well, they sell Walt Disney World stuff, and the resorts sell their own stuff. They're getting better at it, actually. I should say they are getting better at it. But it used to be Disney Parks was a lot of the merchandising that was going on for the longest time. And I remember when I first went, this store sold this stuff, and Epcot still does that, where the countries sell their own things, their own stuff, which is great. You go in there and you'll see something that's Epcot is the only, like, you go in the Norway pavilion, and there'll be a water bottle, and it's very Norwegian looking, and that's the only place in Walt Disney World you can get it. And Main Street used to be like that, where there was stuff that you could only get in shops at Main Street, and there was, and now it's just very generic.
Yeah.
Vanilla. Yeah.
Yes.
But they are getting better. They are getting better. I have to say that. Like, I bought the Pop Century now has pop cups and keychains, and all the resorts do. They have their own T-shirts and all that. So they are getting better.
When we first went with the girls, 2014, Brooklyn had found this jacket that she loved at Electric Umbrella. Not Electric Umbrella, across the street from it.
That's a place to eat.
I know, and I hate Electric Umbrella. Across the street from it.
Mouse Gears, that's right. Yeah.
And we were there, and we're like, okay, well, I mean, if we see this somewhere else, like, I didn't want to carry it around because it was early in the morning. I'm not buying it right now. And then we realized this jacket's not anywhere else. It was literally only in Mouse Gears. So we, on our second Epcot day, were like, okay, we have to get this jacket because that's the only place we see it. And now when we go to Disney, everything is sold in every store. It's all the same stuff. It's not, you're getting off of Pirates. There might be one or two specific pirate things, but then the rest of the store is super generic. Same with all of the attractions. It's even Memento Mori. I mean, it's very Haunted Mansion, but last time we went, there were some kind of generic park stuff in there. And I'm like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah.
Like, this is not the place for that particular item. It should be in the Emporium or somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like you go to Animal Kingdom and there'll be Star Wars stuff in there.
And it's like, wow.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I have to say, they are getting better than they had been in the last few years. I have noticed that on my most recent trip, that there's a lot of stuff that's like Pirates of the Caribbean is a beautiful example. There's a lot of pirate stuff that you can only get in the pirate store.
Yes. And I'm wondering if it's because all of these festivals and everything, everybody's gone crazy over festivals specific gear. Epcot's had a birthday. We've had gear for that. We've had gear for very specific things that have sold out so quick. So maybe them going, oh, hey, look, if we do a specific thing here and tell people it's a limited time item or it's a limited item or you can only get it here, that's going to have their brain going, I have to buy it right now because it's a limited item, and going ahead and buying it for whatever specific event or place or attraction they're at.
Yeah. I had a friend that wanted me to pick up a sleeping Figment stuffed plush on my last trip. And he still told me it's only available at the Imagination Pavilion. It's not available anywhere else on property. And I did not see it anywhere else on property. And I did get it for him. But yeah, I appreciate it that they're going back to that.
Yeah. We actually did a show on Disney marketing about how they kind of convince your brain that this is it. You have to buy it now. This is the only place. So I wonder if they're trying to go back to that limited time place specific items to get you to buy more. Because like with the jacket, if I had known it wasn't anywhere else, I would have bought it the first day. And then the last couple of trips, the few things they've looked at and they've bought, we saw it at every single park at multiple stores, even in the different resorts.
But now you have the My Disney Experience app where you can scan the tag and find out which other stores have that exact same item as well.
I always forget about that. I always forget to do that.
Yeah, we actually found Trent Mickey birthday shirt when you're doing that.
Like once one store didn't have my size, so I had to go to a different store.
Yeah, exactly. So we're back at Jeni. Jeni, this is your, where are we at, number 5?
My saddest
your last one, make it a good one.
My last one is at Epcot in general, and it is edutainment.
That is a good one.
Yes, I love Disney's edutainment, and it makes me very sad to hear about certain attractions closing and being replaced with non-edutainment things. And I'm not going to I can this could
Talk
be
about it for like an hour.
Yes, this could be a
Mhm.
couple of shows, just me talking about that. It just makes me so sad that people do not care. I don't want to say care.
Yeah, that's not the right word for it.
People do care about edutainment, but they don't want to experience. They want just entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
And for the people that aren't familiar, can you explain what edutainment
So
is?
edutainment is basically education and entertainment put together.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. Ellen's Energy Avenger. You learned about energy. Living with the Land. You're seeing how Disney World is growing and developing all of this stuff. A very, very, very large portion of the fresh food that you are eating is actually grown at Disney World. A lot of actually, I think 100% of the fish that you eat at Disney, they are farming themselves, and you go through and you see how they're doing it.
Living with the Land.
Even fun things like Figment.
Mm-hmm.
Figment, you're learning about the imagination and how the brain works and different senses work and stuff. So that is a fun attraction where you are learning. That is the edutainment behind it. You've got the aquariums that people don't spend a whole lot of time at. You have the Mission to Mars. Well, it was Mission to Mars. Now it's the Earth one.
Yeah, where you satellite over the Earth side.
Yeah. So you're, instead of going to Mars, you're going from like one coast to the other on Earth. But when you get out, if you spend time in that kind of lobby area, there's a lot of educational things there, but people don't spend time. It's like, okay, I've done this attraction. Let's move to the next. Test Track is another one. I don't really like their little thing where you build your own car, but that's again to get people thinking, if you're in a big truck, is that going to be fast as a small car? Like, are you going for energy efficient? Are you aerodynamics, things like that? Like that kind of edutainment is not popular anymore. People don't want to be educated. They just want to be entertained.
I agree.
Yeah, no, I think that there seem to be, like, the Kid Caught used to be very educational. Now it's kind of coloring books, more or less, right? Trent, your final one.
This one, Jenny knows this one. She could probably see my tablet right here with my answer. But this one I hold so dear to me, and you'll know this one too, Stan. I'll give you a little clue just real quickly on this one. It was, it still is part of our show. It's the intro to our show. It's for a particular show. Is the original Magic Kingdom Welcome Show. I miss this because it was replaced with Let the Magic Begin, which has nothing to do of being good compared to the original.
The original one, you were excited.
You had the train, the dancing. You had the
Mickey started the day.
Yes, you had the fire chief and the family of the day and all of that fun stuff. And it was so cool.
And now, we understand why now, but they open up the main street and you're
pre-shopping and kind of pitching an show now.
And then they're like, okay, it's 9:00, the park's open, but there's no big to do like there used to be.
I understand about the whole waiting area after scanning your bands. I get it. I understand. But that show to me was iconic. You had the fireworks, you had Mickey. It was fun. The train, the soundtrack, the dancing. It's part of the intro to our own show, but that's where I got it from, is that love. I love that song and that whole routine. And to me, that one is sorely missed because that one to me was the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, I love that show. Out of any of the opening shows that they used to have that they no longer do, that was by far the best one. I'm not sure if you ever seen it. On my last trip, I got to catch the opening for Epcot. World Showcase, and it's a couple of people and they read a couple of lines and they take a handful of Mickey sparkles, confetti, and they throw it in the air, and that's it. Like, it is sad to see when you think about the show that they used to have on Main Street for the opening at the train station. Yeah,
I get I agree. Emotional, I just had to wait tears just now because just thinking about it, I missed that show so much. I love that show.
Well, I'm going to round up the tour here, and I'm going to do my final one. And mine is kind of sad too. And this wasn't due to budget cuts or anything like that. I'm going back to the resort. I'm going to the Grand Floridian, and it used to be, and it still is, but it's just not the same. When you would get to the Grand Floridian, more like often. Like there was a gentleman that worked there, Richard Gareth, and he was the greeter at the Grand Floridian.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what type of mood you're in, he put a smile on your face. He was just such a special person. And I was lucky enough to meet him a couple of times while visiting the Grand Floridian, and 100% gentleman. And he passed away, and I miss him. Like I didn't know him personally. I didn't know him other than the greeter at the Grand Floridian, but he was a really special guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that is, and they have I haven't met the replacement that they have there now, but he seems to be very good too. And I'm sure he'll do well and he'll create a legacy like Richard did. But I know a lot of Disney fans miss Richard's smiling face when they get to Grand Floridian.
I agree. I mean, he's a great guy and just sorely missed, and he brought some magic to the Grand Flow. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're ending this show on a downer.
Great job.
Yeah.
Great job, everybody.
Yeah.
So, Trent and Jeni, I want to thank you so much for coming on. And for our listeners to the solo show, this is my second show only. And Trent and Jeni have been doing this for a couple of years. So, tune in and hear professionals if you want to hear a real show. The Disney DNA podcast. And it's available everywhere. Hit the subscribe button on the solo show. Hit the subscribe button on the Disney DNA show when you go there. Trent, Jeni, what do you have to say?
Well, first, thank you for having us on, Stan. This was a lot of fun. It's always fun talking with you, and we appreciate it. And there's one more thing, just a quick plug, is you can also find us, guys. Just search Disney DNA Podcast in Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But on Twitter, we are Disney DNA Pod. That little short name thing, but just find us there. We'd love to have you as friends with us. And Jeni?
Ditto. He always does such a good job plugging us. All I gotta say is ditto.
I need Trent plugging my show because I got some kind of Facebook thing going. Everything's the solo show.
Yeah, you go.
The only thing was someone else has the solo show, so I had to put 01. So Twitter is the solo show 01. Instagram is the solo show 01, but on Facebook it's the solo show. So you know where to find me.
Absolutely.
I'm everywhere.
Yes.
And so is Trent and Jeni. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you.
And with that, Ken, take it away.
If you have a brilliant idea for a Disney-themed topic and would like to take your place in the co-hosting chair, then drop us an email at thesoloshow01@gmail.com. And please subscribe to The Solo Show, or just keep the conversation going by visiting our Facebook page at The Solo Show. And join us for our next adventure on The Solo Show. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.